Local Tuareg sources in Mali tell France 24 that nearly 1,000 civilians have been killed since the month of March. A week ago, the Islamic State group carried out an attack in the north of the country. This latest incident comes following France's completing its withdrawal from the country. Now, for more on this story, we can bring in France 24's Wassim Nasr. Wassim, good afternoon. What more do we know about this latest attack?
Well, actually, we know that it was an important attack against the town of Telatai. It wasn't the first. Another attack occurred during July. They were testing the defenses of the town, and we can look at a map where we see how the town was attacked. It's a very particular town which is cut on two already. On one part there's the market, on the western part, and the eastern part there's the other part of the village. And here, as we see on the map, the Islamic State attacked on three axes. One main axe here on the west, and the other two from the north and from the east, which means that they have experience in maneuverability. And the people that were defending the town were mainly Jama'at Nasr al-Muslimin fighters, meaning Al-Qaeda fighters, with some MSA Tuareg elements. And what's particular about the town, and we have a letter that we might be able to show, that the Al-Qaeda fighters forbidden other factions from being in the town, except made of the locals, the really locals. So the MSA forces, Tuareg forces, were really a few elements, four pickups present in the town. And what's another thing which is particular about this fight, that we often talk about ethnic fighting between Fulanis and Tuaregs and Arabs. And in this particular fight, those who were defending the town on the side of Al-Qaeda and the MSA were Tuareg, Arabs, and Fulanis, and those who were attacking the town were also Tuareg, Arabs, and Fulanis. And here on this video that we got to see, it's the aftermath, knowing that the Islamic State controlled the town from the 6th to the 8th of September. And this is a jihadi from Al-Qaeda talking and saying, look what those extremists of the Islamic State did, destroying the town and pushing the population out of this town, and even destroying the water supply of the town.
Now, this is video that was sent to you, right?
This is a video that was sent to me. Yes.
Let's talk about these attacks, because yes, we had an attack last week, but this is the latest in a string of attacks we've seen in Mali.
Yes, this is the latest in a string of attacks that happened on the border with Niger, and we see that it started, as you said before, on March, and which is the last fight was in Telatai. And we have a map also that shows us the border region between Mali and Niger, and you'll see it's very explicit. Here we see the dates, the numbers of that, the most important attacks, the presence in Menaka of the Russians, for example, and one of the latest, most important attacks in Barambukan, and the defeat of Tuareg factions facing the Islamic State in Tajalalat. So you see that the Islamic State, even if it's not controlling towns, exception made maybe of Naraban, they are roaming in this region freely. And it's a very rich region. It's a very resourceful region, and with the French leaving the area, there is no more air cover present there for Tuareg factions or even for the Malian army. For example, in Telatai, the Malian army conducted strikes, but they were strikes that didn't hit anyone actually. So this is very important. And even if we got also footage of the refugees that left Telatai and reached Gao, if we may see them, because thousands of people left their towns and were directed towards Algeria or Niger or main towns, and here it is next to the town of Gao. So it's a real problem for the population there. Of course, mostly 1,000 people killed, but the refugees and the displaced people will cause a very huge problem. And we have another map here, which all the fires that we see are massacres that were conducted against civilians, mainly Tuareg civilians. And we see on this map too the presence of Wagner elements in Gao, Tessit, and Ansongo, and even in Menaka. So all this area here, the fight is ongoing between jihadis of the Islamic State, jihadis of Al-Qaeda, a few Tuareg elements, and a few Malian elements too, without efficient air support. So we see that the Islamic State is profiting from the situation and even taxing the population, taking the roads all the way from Gao to Niamey, for example, or the traders there that trade cattle that is being stolen and even sold in Niger and all the way to Nigeria and even Benin.
Thank you very much for that, Wassim Nasr.